Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following. IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Despite the governor's attempts to bar Syrian immigrants from the state, a family is settling into their new home.
He's going to start new here.
بعدين نكون الأطفال كبروا ما ظنوا يرجعوا على حمص أو يرجعوا على سوريا.
It's been a difficult transition from a war-torn country to U.S. soil. Much more with the family coming up. Plus, it's a refuge for wild cats that have been abused or neglected. But a disease is killing the animals at the Exotic Feline Rescue Center.
We're all under a very dark cloud right now.
It's the last of its kind, not just in Indiana, but in the country. A program that teaches how to manage a bowling alley.
The kids could get business management programs and all that type of stuff anywhere, but they couldn't get the bowling section part of it.
Ahead, we head to Vincennes University and talk to faculty about their plans to grow the bowling industry. Those stories, plus the latest headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. About 1,500 Syrian refugees have been accepted into the United States since 2011. But the president says he plans to allow 10,000 Syrians to enter next year. A majority of the state's governors, including Indiana's Mike Pence, are calling for a tougher screening process before that happens. Still, Syrian refugees are arriving in Indiana despite the governor's request. J.D. Gray introduces us a family of refugees who arrived just 2 weeks ago and are working to settling into their new home.
Family is important to Abdul Sattar Asaf. He lives in a small apartment in Indianapolis with his wife and 2 young children. Their place is sparse. They're moving in. Asaf and his family arrived in Indianapolis less than 2 weeks ago, and it's been difficult. Asaf and his family are refugees from Syria, and Governor Mike Pence has been adamant that they're not currently welcome here. He wants a more stringent screening process in the wake of attacks in Paris and San Bernardino. Asaf says the process took 14 months with 6 interviews, lasting between 2 and 4 hours each. The governor does not have the authority to deny entry to the refugees, and Asaf found support for his resettlement by the Catholic Church and their resettlement program, Catholic Charities. How have you found the people of Indiana to be?
كيف لقيت الناس في إنديانا؟
الناس رائعين كتير.
Very nice.
كتير ما شوي يعني ما في واحد بيطلع فيه لما بلاقيه مبتسم. هي أول شغلة.
Wherever he looks, he sees people smiling to him.
Last week, Epworth United Methodist Church in Indianapolis held a multi-faith event to show support to the Syrian refugees living in Indiana. The ceremony featured introductions to the families, a candle lighting ceremony, and a reception with food prepared by a Syrian family. Governor Pence was invited to the event, but he declined, citing a prior engagement. During our conversation, Asaf discussed his plans to rebuild his life in Indianapolis. Do you know what kind of job you're going to be?
شو بدك تشتغل هون؟
يعني أي شغلة إنه أحسن مارسها بشتغلها.
Anything he knows.
يعني ما في إنه شغلة معينة إني ركز هون أو هون، لا أي شغلة إني أقدر فيها أعيش.
Anything.
In Syria, Asaf walked to work with his brothers, but he left when his daily routine became too dangerous.
Suddenly, things turn, down, and you start hear bullets and military. Yeah. So, and people on the street just get shot.
Asaf understood the reality. Either he had to quit going to work or accept that one day he might leave his house and never come back. It was his dream to come to Indiana because his sister relocated here about a year ago. Asaf is hopeful that the other members of his family will join him next.
Do you still hope that one day you'll be able to go back?
ممكن إن بالأيام ممكن يعني بعد 5 سنين 10 سنين 15 سنة.
In the future, if things get safe there, he can go visit, can go see, but not move back there. He's going to start new here.
بعدين بكون الأطفال كبروا ما ظن إنه يرجعوا.
It will be hard for the kids to move back there too.
نعم.
Because he saw a lot of bad stuff over there and he was so scared.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm JD Gray.
Asaf says his brother will find out next month if he will also be able to come to Indianapolis. Now for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brosier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. The open enrollment period to sign up for insurance coverage starting January 1st is officially over, and the fine for not having coverage is going up. Those who don't have insurance for 2016 will pay a penalty on their taxes for that year. The penalty is up to $695 per adult, or 2.5% of a household's income, whichever number is greater. The deadline to comment on the 5 proposed routes for I-69 Section 6 has passed, and the Indiana Department of Transportation has received approximately 600 public comments. INDOT held meetings earlier this month to gather feedback. The majority of people who spoke at those meetings said they want INDOT to choose the route that runs along State Road 37. INDOT officials say they'll use the public comments to help them narrow the set of route options down. INDOT plans to make a route recommendation in 2017, with a final decision expected the following year. A recent Associated Press poll says 56% of Americans think the United States isn't doing enough to fight the Islamic State. Indiana Senator Dan Coates says that number should be even higher. He says ISIS's power is spreading and poses a real threat to Americans. The AP poll found that more Americans than ever support sending U.S. ground troops to fight the terrorist organization, although the majority are still against deploying troops. Representative Bob Baining says he will fast-track a bill at the start of the session that would remove ISEP scores from a teacher evaluation rubric to avoid low scores affecting teacher pay. This comes after preliminary results show there was a huge dip in this year's test. Other legislative leaders are also calling for the General Assembly to discuss ditching the ISEP and looking at more nationally crafted tests to try and avoid these types of problems in the future. 3 regions in Indiana are getting millions of dollars to transform their communities. It's part of the state's Regional Cities Initiative, which aims to link communities and foster economic growth. The General Assembly allocated $84 million from the tax amnesty program as part of the effort. Earlier this week, Governor Pence announced the 3 regions selected to receive the money are the North Central, Northeast, and Southwest regions. House Speaker Brian Bosma says he was surprised to hear 3 regions were chosen instead of the 2 as most people expected.
Each of these regions will receive the full $42 million in funding. And the IEDC and our administration will work with members of the General Assembly about ensuring and securing the legislative authorization to release those funds for that purpose.
It is still not clear if additional money will be awarded for the 3rd region or if the original $84 million will be split in 3 ways. We see it time and time again, usually an instant replay during a football game, a big hit from a defender knocking the ball free in front of frenzied fans. But what does that big hit mean off the field for an athlete? A leading researcher on the matter made a visit to Bloomington this week and says much of the talk on concussions is overblown.
Dr. Kevin Guskowitz is a nationally recognized expert on sports-related concussions at the University of North Carolina. He was at Indiana University's Memorial Stadium Monday evening with a message to students and staff to be aware of misrepresentation of concussions, especially with the Christmas Day release of the film Concussion.
Repetitive head trauma chokes the brain. It turns you into someone else.
Tape, needles, Vicodin, Toradol, whatever it takes to keep them in the game.
It's made for Hollywood, made for entertainment. My guess is that there will be some fact actually in there, but a lot of fiction.
Gus Kowitz, who has been a member of both the NCAA Concussion Committee and the NFL's Head, Neck, and Spine Committee, says there is no concussion crisis, just misinformation.
We're seeing fewer repeat concussions because the initial ones are being managed properly. And we're seeing many kids reporting concussions.
Gus Kowitz says the research center is working on technology that modifies an athlete's behavior to reduce the number of dangerous impacts to the head.
Indiana University's Student Government Association wants Uber to provide free rides to students. The program would offer students 3 complimentary Uber rides each semester. It would also be an extension of the IU Safety Escort, which gives students free rides home until 1:45 a.m. during the fall and spring semesters. The Student Government Association found students still need safe escorts home later than that. They're hoping to pilot the program in the spring. Well, if you're like millions of people around the world, you may get a lot of your news from social media. But a new study from Indiana University says if that's the case, you're more likely to be trapped in a social bubble. Researchers found social media news consumers get their information from a less diverse range of sources than those who get their news through search engines. They say in order to break out of those bubbles, users first need to be aware of their existence. Indiana's state parks are turning 100 next year, and the state is kicking off its centennial celebration. Dozens of people gathered at McCormick's Creek this week for a 1916-style breakfast, followed by a hike through the park. It's one of several events planned leading up to the official centennial next December. The goal of the celebration is to get more Hoosiers to visit Indiana's 24 parks.
I think when you drive in the gate of a state park like here at McCormick's Creek, you just feel a sense of the world dropping off your shoulders, if you allow it to. It's quieter, it's you got big trees or you've got open prairie depending on where you're going.
Among the other events planned, the state will offer entry to parks at 1916 prices for one weekend over the summer, and each park will host its own birthday celebration. For the first time since Prohibition, you'll be able to buy alcohol at a bar, restaurant, or grocery store on Christmas. Legislators approved the decision last session. If Christmas falls on a Sunday, you'll be able to carry out drinks from the grocery or liquor store too. Christmas falls on a Friday this year. Forecasts predict the new Star Wars film will bring in around $150 million domestically this weekend. Chances are high that you probably know someone seeing the movie, but only one theater in the entire state gives you the chance to see the film the way it was shot. Claire McInerney takes you into the projectors booth at the Indiana State Museum's IMAX Theater.
IMAX theaters are straying from film projections for the same reason that IMAX film is embraced. The reels are big, really, really big. The picture quality comes from the exceptional size of each frame. IMAX 70mm film allows for a frame that is 10 times larger than 35mm film. This massive size affects everything, from the size of the projection booth to the expense of shipping the film.
Once a movie comes in, it comes in small boxes, kind of like this. So there's about 3.5 minutes of film right here.
A film like Star Wars costs about $50,000 to print and over $1,000 to ship. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Claire McInerney.
The IMAX Theater at the Indiana State Museum is planning another sci-fi adventure for next year. They will bring a rare 70mm version of 2001: A Space Odyssey to the big screen. And if you're hoping to get outside and hit the slopes, you'll have to wait a little bit longer. Popular skiing destination Paoli Peak says temperatures and humidity will have to drop significantly before they can start making snow. It's easiest for them to fire up their snow guns when the temperatures get into the low teens. It's unclear when that will happen. And Joe, last year the unseasonably warm weather pushed their season opener back to New Year's Eve.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. It was a niche program, but one that drew students from around the world. The bowling management program at Vincennes was the last of its kind when it shut down this year. Ahead, how the university is still trying to keep the business of bowling alive. Disease is being blamed for killing at least half a dozen cats at the Exotic Feline Rescue Center. Ahead, what's being done to stop the disease from spreading? These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Frontline provides me with information that makes me think.
First I shout at the television. You gotta be kidding!
You won't see this anywhere else.
The stories hit close to home.
Truth is a very valuable commodity.
They're uncompromising.
I want to do something. I want to take action.
It changed the way I actually live my life.
It lets me make up my mind.
I trust it.
When I watch Frontline,
it makes me angry and it makes me want to voice it.
I want to make a difference.
We can make a difference.
Frontline.
These guys are my heroes.
People are looking for more light and less heat. Washington Week viewers are going to get it straight ahead, and that's what they count on us for. When we do these road shows, it not only helps me, but it helps all of our panelists to find out what is really on people's minds. We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think. That's what I think is unique about public broadcasting. There's nothing else like it out there.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. The Exotic Feline Rescue Center in Center Point is struggling to contain a deadly outbreak of canine distemper. The virus is most common among dogs, but has killed 7 big cats at the facility. As Barbara Brosier reports, it's unclear how many more could become infected.
As Joe Taft walks through the Exotic Feline Rescue Center, it's clear the cats know exactly who he is. To the nearly 200 animals here, Joe is a savior.
We are here to provide lifelong quality homes to big cats that have been abused, abandoned, confiscated by governmental agencies that have no place to go.
The animals will spend the rest of their lives at this facility in Crown Point. To Taft and the keepers that take care of them, the cats are like family. And that's what makes a recent viral outbreak at the rescue center so hard.
We're all under a very dark cloud right now.
7 of the cats here have died from canine distemper. The virus is almost always fatal in big cats, and it's hard to prevent.
The vaccines that we have to use are a modified live virus. And while those modified live viruses are going to be absolutely safe for your dog, they're species specific, so they're not really designed for other kinds of animals.
Raccoons can also carry the virus, which is how Taft thinks it got into the facility. He's noticed raccoons around and recently sent one off for testing at the University of Illinois.
Samples of that raccoon are then being shared with researchers and medical facilities.
In the meantime, all Taft can do is quarantine cats that show any symptoms of canine distemper and hope the outbreak will soon be contained.
There's not much we can do.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brosier.
Taft says there is at least 1 cat that's still at high risk for canine distemper. The virus doesn't affect humans, so the Exotic Feline Rescue Center is still open for visitors. Since the 1970s, Vincennes University has offered a one-of-a-kind degree program, a certificate in bowling management. Dwindling enrollment forced the school to cut the program this fall, but as Lindsay Wright reports, alumni and faculty are fighting to make sure students who are still interested in studying bowling can. And they say that's critical to keeping the industry alive.
Corey Umbrello started bowling when he was just 3 years old. He developed a love for the sport, and when he was old enough, got involved in both competitive and travel leagues. Now he's a senior at Vincennes University, where he plays on the varsity bowling team.
I'm really passionate. It's just something I'm really good at, and for most people, whatever you're good at, you pursue it. So it's just what I found I'm really good at, and I just love bowling.
Umbrello's from Massachusetts, and his decision to enroll at Vincennes was based on getting to play on the bowling team and learn the tools of the trade as a student in the university's bowling management program.
Bowling doesn't really get out to New England very much. It's, from my standpoint, I wish it did.
The bowling management industry degree is unique to Vincennes.
It's a one-of-a-kind major.
The program started in the 1970s as more of a technical degree to teach students how to operate pin setters. Over the course of time, it developed, and the university added management, customer service, marketing, and budgeting courses to the curriculum. Much of that development can be credited to Gary Sparks, the director of recreational sports, varsity coach, and teacher of the program since 1989.
You know, the kids could get business management programs and all that type of stuff anywhere, but they couldn't get the bowling section part of it. And that was what we really were able to give them here and give them that kind of extra little advantage when they went out and got into the job market.
Enrollment grew throughout the early years of the program, and in the mid to late 90s, it really took off. The program even admitted a handful of international students, and class sizes peaked. Sparks created material for the program from seminars and clinics and used operation manuals as textbooks.
Our industry is a unique breed, to put it in that terms, that bowlers like to be around other bowlers. So that was always a big influence and big impact of our program.
There have only ever been 2 of these programs in the country. The other one, which was in Buffalo, New York, ended about 8 years ago. And now Sparks' program at Vincennes is meeting the same fate. He says it's not a huge shock. All the excitement over big enrollment numbers was short-lived. The popularity of bowling started fading in the late 90s. Since 1998, the number of bowling alleys in the U.S. has dropped by 25%. And those that have survived aren't necessarily just bowling alleys anymore. This one in Indianapolis is typical. There's an arcade, laser tag, and mini golf.
A lot of the new structures and facilities that are being built more from a recreational side as opposed to the sports side of bowling.
So to outsiders, a degree in bowling management isn't critical, but Sparks wouldn't agree.
It's probably not going to be a big impact right now, but I could say, 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road, to get to that point, it's going to become a struggle probably for, centers to find some people, not necessarily that know business and customer service, but the bowling aspect of it. That's the big difference.
Prior to axing the program this year, Vincennes struggled to get enrollment numbers into the double digits. Umbrella was among the last to graduate with a bowling management degree.
Not knowing then that I was one of the last ones to graduate through it, and now looking back, I'm just really lucky to be a part of it.
The focus at Vincennes now is the varsity bowling team. It's highly decorated with 19 NJCAA national championships, 3 in the last 5 years alone. Sparks says even with the degree program gone, students from all over come to be part of the team.
Because that's how you're going to start. You're not going to start an activity like this from the sports side. It's going to start as a fun recreation part of it. And then those people, those given individuals, are the ones that are going to say, okay, I like this, I want to get better at it, I want to do it at a higher level. That's the ones that we have to kind of track down and look at and find, and then convince them to get into the higher levels.
Sparks says he hopes the industry as a whole can recover and get back to a focus on developing the sport side of bowling by creating new avenues where players can pursue the game beyond recreation. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Lindsay Wright.
And you see them outside the grocery store, the shopping mall, asking for donations to the Salvation Army from behind those iconic red kettles. The Salvation Army will use nearly 90% of the funds it raises through those kettles for service provisions like keeping the organization's food pantries stocked, its emergency financial assistance program afloat, and its buildings and vehicles maintained. Alexander McCall introduces us to several of the people behind the kettles who say their season wouldn't be the same without the ringing of the bells.
Carol Ebeling is posted in the vestibule of the Kroger on Bloomington's east side, playing Christmas music from a portable speaker. As shoppers come in and out of the store, some drop a coin or a dollar bill into her red kettle. Ebeling's church group has been volunteering with the Salvation Army for more than a decade. It's only her 5th year ringing the bell, but her motivation is personal.
My husband, Dave, who will be ringing the other part of this shift, grew up in an impoverished situation in LaPorte, Indiana. And if it weren't for Salvation Army, the 4 children wouldn't have had Christmases. And so it's a way that we pay back because God's been so good to all of us.
Ebeling is just one of hundreds of volunteers out across South Central Indiana, but each year the organization also hires people who've had difficulty finding employment in the past. William Douglas is one of those employees, and he's been manning a red kettle for nearly 10 years. Across town, Douglas is standing outside a Kroger location on the south side of the city. It's sunny today, but he says the weather isn't always friendly. Sometimes being a bell ringer means facing frigid weather. As Douglas made casual conversation with passersby, he mentioned the pride he takes in helping others.
I mean, it really means a lot to me that if somebody had a fire or a flood or something like that, you could help them. Helping the children with Christmas, you know, it all in general works together. Plus, you get to know people in your community, the people around you, you know. It makes a big difference when you know people.
Carol Zakowski found herself with a bell in her hand after applying to work with the Salvation Army, and she's been ringing for 7 years. For this shift, she'll be outside for 6 hours, but she adds it's worthwhile because of the good the organization does.
The whole point is to help people throughout the year. And that's why I do it.
Zakowski says the opportunity to meet different people each day is what makes the biggest impression.
There was a young baby, about 18 months old, said, "Bell, Bell," and he pointed to it, you know, and so I gave it to him to ring, and he shook it as hard as he could, and we all laughed. It was so funny.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Alexander McCall.
As of December 14th, the Salvation Army of Bloomington says it has raised nearly $70,000 through its Red Kettle campaign this year. That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend and holiday.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following. IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.